My name's Daniel Flynn, and I'm one of the co-founders of Thankyou. And I wanted to start by saying thank you to you for opening the box in your hands, checking out our product, reading our press releases, and I wanted to start by sharing what we do. It's pretty simple. We sell consumer product and we give 100% of the profit to helping end extreme poverty. But I think the coolest part isn't maybe just what we do, but it's how this has grown from a small little idea to what has become a consumer movement in Australia and soon here in New Zealand. From school kids to CEOs to media around our country, people have always had this fascination with Thankyou, the movement. There are 3 moments I want to share with you that summarize to us the power of this idea. But before that, it literally started when I had this moment in front of my computer. And I remember I was sitting there doing some research and I came across stories of kids who didn't have access to clean water. There was one stat that said 900 million people in our world didn't have clean water, and as I watched stories of kids as young as 4 and 5 walking to collect water for their family, I have this one moment where I'm literally sitting there at my computer and I'm crying. And I'm crying because I'm thinking, what if that was me? What if I lost my sisters from waterborne disease? And then I found out it was the water that I got them that killed them. And at 19, I knew that wasn't my story, but it moved me and it made me want to do something. I remember seeing another number that said in 2008 we were spending $50 billion on bottled water. Today it's over 140 billion, and I literally think bottled water is probably the dumbest product on the planet. But I remember having this idea, what if? What if you could combine these 2 extremes? And when I told my girlfriend Justine and my best mate Jared about it, well, they loved it. And the 3 of us set out on this adventure. Today they're our co-founders, and we've taken this little idea of what if we could change the world. We've seen it become a reality. But I need to tell you about the we, because the we isn't 3 of us. Yeah, sure, we got to start it, but we've grown. See, for the first 3 years of our story, we thought it would be easy, but it wasn't, it was hard. Literally no major retailer in Australia backed us. At year 3, after everyone saying no, and a whole bunch of wild stories about people copying the idea and making commitments and never coming through with it, we did something really bold. We launched a video on YouTube and we said, hey everybody, 2 weeks from today we are presenting to 7-Eleven Australia, which is our #1 convenience chain. We're asking you to jump onto their Facebook wall and say, 7-Eleven, if you stock the Thankyou water, I'd buy it. Now this clip went viral and people start singing, dancing, rapping. They're showing their support. 7-Eleven ranged the product and the momentum just took off. So we took that idea of the people together, us changing the system and the world, and we grew it. By year 5, the 2 biggest supermarkets, Coles and Woolworths, still wouldn't say yes to our 1 bottle of water. But we'd spent some time developing a food range and our body care range that's in the pack in front of you right now. And after 2 years of developing that, along with a world-first tracker system called Track Your Impact, where every product has its own unique tracker, if you type up into our website, you can register to get reporting and GPS coordinates of the project you're funding. But we developed all this stuff knowing that the supermarkets hadn't said yes to us for 5 years. But we had an idea that we thought could change it. It was another little call to action. It was a video called the Coles and Woolworths campaign, and we said, hey everybody, 2 weeks from today we're presenting to Coles and Woolies, can you jump on their Facebook wall? And people went crazy. Again, singing, dancing, rapping. My favorite part was when Peter and Jeff, these 2 helicopter pilots, they flew helicopters with these huge signs. One in Melbourne that said, hey Coles, thank you for changing the world. In brackets, if you say yes. Because we hadn't met them yet. We flew it over Melbourne and around their head office for half an hour. At the same time, Woolies got one. And my favorite part of the day was Peter and Jeff, the pilots, because they flew for free. And we actually had a donor pay for the sign. And that to me kind of sums up Thankyou. See, during that campaign, from helicopter pilots to philanthropists to kids as young as 5 and 6 years old, recording videos, we came together. And everyone said it would be impossible, but Coles ended up saying yes 5 hours after the meeting. Woolies said yes after 3 hours and we were in. Product hit the shelf from day 1 and it took off. Our hand wash, as an example, is the number one hand wash in Australia in grocery stores, and it's held that position for years now. There's a part of us that dream, what if this could go further? What if this could work in other countries? And we believe deep down that Thankyou is a global idea. And so we set out on this adventure to launch Thankyou into New Zealand. We had this cool thought. What if two of the smallest countries in the world, who sometimes we get a little forgotten, but sometimes we bat above our weight in sport, business, entertainment, what if we could both prove, not that it worked just in one country, but in two, and then one day we take that further? People said to us, you kind of have a problem with your model. And we knew that. So we give all of our profit and we have no shareholders and no investors. So the challenge is, how do we get money to grow? How do we get money to launch into it, even a new country? And we said to people, we'll figure it out. And then 2 years ago, we launched a world first crowdfunding campaign. And it was called Chapter 1. In this campaign, we launched a book, and in the video I simply said, well, this is our first chapter. The first chapter of the Thankyou story, and 100% of the profit from this book, Chapter 1, will fund Chapter 2. Thankyou expanding into nappies that fund infant maternal health projects. And then Thankyou expanding into New Zealand, the first country outside of Australia, with dreams for us together to take it further. Now, people said to us, you're crazy because books don't make much money anymore. And just a stat for you, a best-selling book in Australia will sell 5,000 copies and we'd be lucky to make 50 grand. But this is a story of the power of we, the power of people. And in the first 2 hours, people backed it. I know that because we raised $360,000 in 2 hours. Within the first 28 days, we smashed our target of 1.2 million. We ended up hitting $1.44 million raised from the book. And the book was no ordinary book. So we sell it with a pay what you want price. And some people tested that paying literally 5 cents. Others paid like 25, 30. 2 people here in New Zealand paid 5,000. One lady recently, well, she's taken the current highest at $50,000 for one copy. And it's humbling. And at the same time, it's people coming together about an idea bigger than all of us. So I sit before you literally right now at the launch of Thankyou New Zealand. And this is probably the scariest, boldest launch we've ever done. And it's because we're doing things different to the way we've done them before. So we asked 2 very important questions. The first one was around our water. And we asked ourselves, do we need to take water to New Zealand? And we've decided not to. We don't think New Zealand needs another bottle of water. We'll launch with our body care range, then baby. Then later on, we've got a cool idea in water, but it's not bottled water. It'll change everything. But that's for another day. The second big question we asked was, what if? What if Thankyou didn't launch New Zealand? What if New Zealand launched Thankyou? We had this kind of metaphor of passing the baton. Like we've run part of the race, but New Zealand, what if we pass it to you and you write your own story, your own chapter, and let's see where you can take it. And what began as a metaphor kind of got literal because we made some batons. And when we thought about it, there's a part of us going, do you do 1 baton? Do you do 100 batons? The number we settled on was actually 4,973 or something like that. It was like 1% of the population. And then we're like, nah, that's too many batons. And so we scaled it back to about 300. We like 300. It's a small number, but there's a movie called The 300, but there's a small number of people coming together around an idea that could change a nation and set an example for the world. And so really simply, what we've done is gather 300 people, close friends, family, supporters, people who've been really key in helping Thankyou New Zealand get ready. And we've passed the baton to them as a simple representation of passing the baton to New Zealand. We've asked everyone in that room, we've asked everyone on our social networks, and we're asking everyone over the next coming weeks to do 3 things. Choose Thankyou, take action, tell 2. Choosing Thankyou is simple. Buy it at the store. We've just launched a new world into Pack and Save and Foursquare. That's super exciting, but there is only a 13-week window to get the sales rates up to where they need to be or you get dropped. That's not long. So we need people to choose it, but we need people to take action, help spread the word. Some people may have a social network. Other people, maybe they've got a helicopter company, I don't know, but like use what you have in your hand. Your skill, your talent, your time, your business. Help spread the word. And the final call to action is to tell 2 people. Here's how it works. We're encouraging people to like buy 2 hand washers. Those who got a baton, got 2 hand washers in them. You got some product in your box right now. And telling 2 people is as simple as telling 2 people. I had a meeting with a friend here in New Zealand, Brooke, and he was amazing. And I was telling him how, imagine if someone told someone, and when we spread the word of mouth movement, he goes, the problem with one person telling one person is it's only 1-to-1. It should be 1-to-2. Like, what do you mean? He goes on to explain exponential growth, and it's kind of a mind-blowing moment. So instead of telling 1 person, we changed it to telling 2. Because get this, if 1 person told 1 person who told 1 person, and that happened 14 times, 14 people would know about Thankyou. But if 1 person tells 2 people, who tells 2 people, who tells 2 people, after 14 times, it's like 16,500 people hearing about Thankyou. Now sure, not everyone's going to do it, but probably more than 14 people will find out. So the tell 2 call to action is pretty cool, because what started in a room with 300 people, if that triggered 2 to tell 2 to tell 2, and that happened 14 times, we know over 4.9 million people would hear about Thankyou. And we love the thought that from small little ideas, big things can grow. So the campaign, choose Thankyou, take action, tell 2 is simple. But what I hope you're seeing by now and over the coming days and weeks is radical action taken. Not because we forced it, but simply because we put it out there. In Australia, we have about 6,000 people part of our launch or our ambassador team, just everyday people who've signed up to help grow Thankyou. Here in New Zealand, at the time we launched, we had 4,000 people signed up. Now, I could not believe the support. You'll see people do stuff over the next few days, weeks, and months. But this video and this pack is a simple question of what could you do, what could we do together with this story. We absolutely need to get the word out. And so we're coming to you and hoping that you'd be part of spreading this story 1 step further. We'd love you to contact us, our team, and in the background you got Mal, Estelle. Our team is tiny here in New Zealand. There's about 4 of us in an office the size of the one we started in 9 years ago. But I think from kind of small things, big things come. So let's chat, enjoy the product, help spread the word, and this is Thankyou New Zealand. And one final thought. I had this ridiculously crazy opportunity last year to be interviewed by someone. Now, I didn't know till the morning before. And the morning before at this conference, these 2 girls came up to me and said, you didn't get back to our email. I was like, sorry, I was traveling. They said, that's okay, but tomorrow morning, President Obama wants to interview you on the live stream. Would you be up for that? And I was like, what? And this is what happened. He picked 3 young people and he interviews us for 25 minutes. One of his questions, when's Thankyou, this idea, going to more countries? I said, well, we're about to launch in New Zealand. We hope it works and I hope one day we can take it further. And I end with that thought, because we hope this will work. We hope this will grow the impact, and we hope together we can take it 1 step further. Thank you.